You had to click on something to be here now. What did you click on? What do you mean, what is the topic? uh, Nigeria. I'm married 15 years now. I feel a little stuck. How does one deepen a relationship when the everyday humdrum wears you down? Yeah, that's the big thing, you know. That's an issue that I had with my past relationship. We weren't married, but it was marriage, just not on paper, let's say. 7 years. And one of the biggest issues was me coming back into the apartment with energy from other people from outside, and her especially. So then we would fight and argue and clash, and it was so rare that I was just me and that she was just who she was. It was always the baggage of other people's energy from the 9 to 5 job, from the metro, from parents, from, like you say, everyday humdrum wears you down. Um, it's very hard not to take things personally when you're tired, when you are depleted. All of the issues that we ever had, and that's how we ended up for 7 years together, is that I was clear enough in the head to recognize that almost every single issue, if not every single issue, was me and my life and her life, and not our relationship together. Meaning that if we are in nature, away from the city, away from the everyday job, and we spend for like 3 to 4 hours just walking at like a nature reserve, which is 3 hours away from a main city or something, civilization. We would decompress the energy and we would be delightful to each other. We could fix everything, talk about everything, be so gentle, be each other, to ourselves first and foremost, you know? And then it makes you think maybe every single marriage could have been saved if the people were brave enough to just go and live on a farm on minimal things and away from people, away from everything toxic. And most things are toxic in today's environment, unless you're living in Costa Rica or something. So the main thing is to not take things personally. How do you deepen this relationship? Well, you gotta make time for it. You gotta make time and realize it's not personal. You gotta make not only time, but space. And that space needs to be so far away from the city, from the everyday humdrum, like you say, and then everything will get resolved. You won't even need to plan a date or plan a retreat or plan a vacation. Just make sure it's far enough from the energy of the people that you're usually around, from the buildings, from the things you usually do, and that there is space to breathe, that there are trees around, water, elements, sunshine, walking around on the beach barefoot. You won't need a lot of stuff. You gotta get away from it so far. It's no easy task. It's no easy task, Giria. It's not without a reason that many people cannot maintain a career and a marriage and children and not have one of those things collapse. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that you need to be so resilient to taking things personally and realize that you are splitting your life into 2 buckets or 3 buckets. And then be okay with what you prioritize. And right now you are prioritizing your career, and that's why the relationship is suffering. Just realize the priority and then change priority if you would like to change how much a thing grows. You're blowing our minds with spitting your rhymes. Kathy aligns. Kathy, thank you. Heather, I have some shifted some relationships in my life and I'm feeling better, but the guilt comes up out of nowhere. Any advice on how to release that? Yes. Feel the guilt and feel the body and look at your life at the same time. So what do I mean by that? You feel the guilt of cutting out somebody from your life, let's say, of like you say, shifting some relationships. That would mean that you're probably removed yourself from somebody and now you feel guilty. So the guilt comes up. Feel the guilt, sit down with it, breathe, feel the guilt. And then let's say it's like 1 bucket that you can take energy from and invest energy into. Look at that bucket of guilt. How much are you giving it? How much is it giving back? And then next to that bucket of guilt, place how is your life looking? How does your life look like actually right now that you've done these changes? Look around. So the feeling of guilt and the bucket of guilt is a feeling somewhere in the body, the liver, the spleen, the chest, the lungs, the throat constricted, your fists, it doesn't matter. It's somewhere in the body, making you want to cry, making you want to scream, making you want to release the energy. So sit down, feel that bucket. The other bucket is your eyes, and use the eyes to actually look around. How does my life look like after I've done these changes? And look at that bucket. What are you investing in it? What is it giving back? The more important thing is what the first and the second and the third bucket are giving you. And the third bucket, so we got the guilt bucket, we got how does my life actually look like, and then how does my body feel? Do you feel more relaxed? Are your muscles more tender? Do you breathe better? Do you sleep better? Is your digestion better? Do you have more motivation in the morning? Do you walk around with less tension? These 3 buckets. The guilt bucket the eyes that are obviously perceiving the life how it looks now, and the body bucket, and then which one of those is true? Which one of those is true? And look at those more and invest in those more. And slowly and surely the first one is going to slip away. It's just going to be ridiculous. You're going to look at it and be like, "Oh, you little bucket. Oh, look at you, you little bucket. How huge you were once." That's why it's weird. I should not feel guilty. Well, the shoulds and shouldn'ts are gonna break us apart, aren't they? It's because that's the default mode that we had our entire life. It's not gonna be easy to remove these things. So be okay having 3 buckets for a while. That's all I'm gonna say. Because guilt is something a lot of us are born with, and we repeat the pattern our whole life. So maybe be okay with having 3 buckets. At least you got 3 buckets. At least you got 3 buckets. Some people have only the one, and they never changed the thing that you changed. Imagine that. Imagine having only the guilt. So enjoy 3 buckets for as long as it takes to heal. And be gentle with yourself. Lydia, welcome Lydia. How can I create more connection and intimacy with my husband? We've been married for 17 years. Wow. I've been through this spiritual path for years. He doesn't grasp things I talk about. I feel we're growing apart. Yeah, 17 years, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be two people constantly looking at each other die and be reborn, and die and be reborn in terms of ego and character and things that they're interested in or not interested in. So you got to look at it realistically and connect on things that you connect on. So you're saying, how can I create more connection and intimacy with my husband? If he doesn't grasp the things you're talking about, you got to talk about things that he grasps. And that's how you create connection. And then you got to ask yourself, do you love this relationship even though he's not into spirituality like you are? Can you be spiritual and talk about things you want to talk about with other people and then have alone time with him where you guys do the things that you both enjoy? So can you have these two things separate? If you can, these are the places where you'll create connection and intimacy. So you need to be focusing on what you have with him and not where you don't connect, and easily you will connect. So now it's up to you. How big of a bucket is this spirituality, and does he have to be in it? Or can you have a bucket of spirituality and a bucket of playing around with him and speaking with him about things that you can connect with? This is what you need to answer first. Like, there were times where I would get frustrated that my former partner would not get excited about the same things that I get excited. And she would sometimes come with things and present me and be like, "Oh my God, look at this, look at this." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's mildly interesting." And then we would get mad. We would be like, "Oh, why don't you appreciate the same things?" Well, do we have to? Do we have to eat the same food? Do we have to flip out over the same music? You know, it depends. It depends how big the bucket is. It depends how important it is to you. Are you guys is he just not understanding about it, or are you guys clashing about it? Can you stop clashing? Is it unnecessary fighting? Is it just misunderstanding? You got to ask yourself these questions. You got to prioritize. What can you connect on? Focus on what you can connect on. These will be the things. Guys, send me a message after the live if you want to talk deeper about any of the stuff. Thank you. I guess I need to focus on the positives of our relationship and not expect them to be in the same path. Exactly, Lydia. Exactly. Check out my courses on my profile. The website link is in the profile. Message me through the profile after this live, guys. Donate to support. No matter the amount, it's dope. Don't worry if you think it's not enough. It's enough. And you can always word of mouth recommend people to come on my live, to get in touch with me, to check out my audio courses, send them the links to my Insight Timer profile. There's always ways you can support. Guys, there's always ways you can support. I'll get to you next, Gail. Just resting my voice for a few minutes. Just keep asking questions. I'm not gonna skip any. I'm not gonna skip a question, and we're not gonna close the live without answering everything. So there's no rush. There's no rush. Sorry, I came in late. What's the 3 buckets? It's related to someone else's story. It's not something general. I just told my son, who's 40 and has what become to feel like he's taking advantage of me. I've been supporting him financially for 10 months while going through cancer treatment. Who's doing cancer treatment? He or you? But it's all about him, and he doesn't want to hear about my health and concerns. He even took money of mine without... You are, okay. He doesn't want to hear about my health and concerns. He even took money of mine without telling me, and when I got upset, he blamed it on my financial insecurity. Oh, wow. I love him so much and have tried so hard to be there for him, but it's never enough. And yes, the guilt, like I'm not a good mother. Oh my God, Gail, you are sick and you are trying to heal from who knows what. You have my permission to set this boundary and all the guilt in the world. I don't know. I don't know how you feel. I've never been in this situation. I'm just going to give you an affirmation that it's very difficult and that you're going through a very hard time, and to give yourself all the gentleness in the world. And I will invite you to send me a message through my teacher profile after this live. I feel like I can help you. I set a boundary today and will not be taking him to the doctors. Yeah. Just think about it, like at 40 and you are going through this treatment. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a position of taking advantage, and you need to prioritize yourself. Like, just out of the blue, just if if we take this thing that you said, I love for him and I want to feel like I'm a good mother. Well, how are you going to how are you going to be a good mother if you're not around? You gotta heal yourself first, and even that is so out of context. I hope you understand that I'm pulling out the last bit of logic that you're trying to put into this. That even if you remove all the advantage that he's taken care of you, if you want to just take this last thing that you're holding on to, and that's the guilt that you're not a good mother, how are you gonna stay a good mother to him if you're not around on this planet with us? You gotta push him away until you're healthy again. And not to mention everything else. Do you understand? Not to mention all the other things which are not in your favor. This guilt it's the motherly love. However, you've given so much, Gail. He hijacks my whole day and then wants more money I gave, and he took some more than half of my social security check. Gail, you need to take time away. He's old. He's really old enough to take care of himself. Or find a way to... Yeah, I really think you need time and space away until you heal. However that looks like. Please send me a message after the live. I feel like I'm not gonna make it if I don't eat. I didn't sleep all night over him hanging up on me yesterday. Oh my God, Gail. Wow. Wow, I hope after this you see how reverse it is. How reverse it is. How much toxic emotions are inside of you and they shouldn't be at all. How much time and space you need. And how not healthy this is for you. If you're not sleeping over him hanging up and he's doing all this. it's all the thing, like I'm his mom, he's in trouble, I have to help him, he's addicted to prescription drugs. This might end up being two people drowning. I'm sorry, this is gonna be harsh, Gail. But you know, a situation where one person is drowning and the other person wants to help them, and they come and the first person pulls them down, and then the two people drown. This might be the situation where he's drowning and you're trying to help him, and he's gonna pull both of you down. He's been in a legal battle all year. Something's gonna break here. Something's gonna break here. And something needs to break here, I believe, for things to change. If you both want to save yourselves, something has to budge, something has to break. And I feel like it's gonna be you, and it's not gonna help him. I feel like it's gonna be you, and the legal battle is not gonna end, and the prescription drugs are not gonna end. It would be better if you took the money and both of you got professional help, separate from one another. I feel like that would be the best thing. For him to get professional help with the money for the prescription drugs to get off of it, and for you to invest in treatment. I would suggest alternative treatment. That's why I'm saying send me messages after the live. When I'm with him, my gut knows it's not right. Yeah. There's so many red flags here. And yeah. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for being brave, speaking about it. You got my affirmation and all the people in the chat of how difficult your situation is, and something has to change. Not because, like, I've never been in a situation like this. The only thing, however cruel you feel like it sounds, and I'm barely saying it out loud, guys. I'm barely saying it out loud. But it's better if one person drowns than two people. It's better if one person manages to save themselves. And this does not look like it's going to be that. Not in this situation. Not if you are the carrier. Bearer is what I meant to say. If you are the bearer of everything, you're barely carrying yourself. And the drugs, if a person is addicted, that's like having multiple people. Because what it is entities. It is spirits, whether somebody's addicted to alcohol or cigarettes or drugs. It's not a one person that you're dealing with. It's one person that carries around demons and energetic parasites and physical chemical parasites. Sending healing energy your way, Gail. Breath, I'm a mother too, but you need to be well first. That is that. That is it exactly. Like, put the motherhood aside. Like, you want to live first and foremost. That's what I always tell people. That's why I always tell people, like, what is all the money in the world worth if you cannot pick up your grandkids when you're 60? What is saving all this money for? Invest in some coaching of of a personal trainer if you want your spine to be okay, if you want to pick up your grandkids. I'm not saying this is for you. I'm saying this like advice for other people, but you understand how it relates to your situation. Your health comes first. All the relationships, all the guilt, guys, even from Heather asking about guilt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People forget other people in a matter of weeks. Even your child is gonna move on with their life if you die. Realize the painful truth that time moves so quickly and people worry about their own life first and foremost. So you also worry about your own life first and foremost. This is not selfish. This is self-preservation 101. This is survival, basic survival 101. What good is all the guilt and shame and wanting to be close to somebody if you're not alive anymore? This is not cruel. This is just basic reality. You need to have your life urge stronger than your death urge. And if the people around you have a stronger death urge than their life urge, they're going to pull you down. And unfortunately, he's pulling you down. And I don't know what it's going to take for him. I'm really, at the same time, I'm sorry and I'm not sorry for being this real. I'm sorry for saying it because I've never been in a situation like that. It's not easy for me to give advice about something that I've never lived through. However, I can see from a perspective that is outside, just like all the people on this live. I have a daughter and his 20-year-old son he doesn't even talk to. I need to live for. You need to live for yourself first and foremost, Gail. Like you're once again you're saying, I have a daughter, I have a grandchild, I need to live for them. Don't do the same thing again, Gail. Put them aside completely. You don't have any of them. No, you don't have a daughter to live for. No, you don't have a 20-year-old son. He does. You don't have them. You have yourself first and foremost. You have yourself. You don't have a daughter. You don't have grandkids, Gail. Don't do the same thing again. You gotta live for yourself first. This is not selfish, guys. If you're not healthy, what good is it to have 7 daughters? To live for them. Yeah. Self-love, Gail. I watch the people in my family give everything to others and not themselves, and now in their old age struggling with health. I'm changing the pattern. Exactly, Heather. We are changing this pattern. Self-love is not selfish. How can you give to somebody if you're not full first? We need to fill all our buckets first, and then what spills out goes to other people. Never empty your own bucket so another person has. If it makes you die. I'm not saying don't share with others. I'm saying there is a basic minimum that each of us needs to be normal and healthy. And if you're jeopardizing that bucket of normal and healthy for another person, this is not love to anyone. Not to you, not to them. Welcome, Churm. I've had to detach the dependency with my partner due to the lack of support, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial. I had to start putting me first. Exactly, guys. Yes, Giria, it's about attention. What bucket are we filling with our intention and attention? Angelica says, friends, dates are very jealous. Maybe I'm looking in wrong places. Yeah. I don't think we need a lot of people around us. I really don't think we need a ton of friends and our partner and our coworkers. It's I don't think we have enough energy for everyone like that. And then the relationships can suffer for it. Vida says I agree. Angelica, maybe I'm looking in wrong places. Yeah. Like, do you go to bars to pick up men? Or do you go to an art class that you enjoy and maybe there's a guy there who also does an art class that he enjoys and you guys hit it off? Or are you going to bars where people drink alcohol and alcohol takes your soul away? So you gotta think, or is it a dating app which is marketing people off like cattle? So where are you finding people? Or where are you searching for people? Or what are the parties you're going at? Or the events? Or this dating? Where is it? Yes, in bars. Of course, God, oh my God, guys, places where people go to feed their addictions. You're not gonna find genuine connection there. You're gonna find people who go there to drink and find somebody to hook up next to. Alcohol means soul stealer. Alcohol is the worst thing in the world, guys. So, what do you expect to find in a bar? Who do you expect to find in a bar? These boys are jealous. Wow. Of course, if they're in bars, you're not going to find anything worthwhile for yourself or people of quality. I'm sorry, guys. That's the way it is. I see my dad who drinks. I see what it's done to him. I see what alcohol does to a person's spirit. I wouldn't step a foot in a bar. I wouldn't touch a bar with an electrically isolating pole in 20 feet distance. Chirm, I expressed the lack to my partner came against resistance. Though the reality of me feeling better, as you stated, helped me become more in tune. I see the change in other branches of my life tree. I love your language expression, Chirm. Change in other branches of my life tree. And you said something else. Find your happy places that feed your spirit. Yeah, I love your language, Chirm. I work in healthcare. I see how alcohol and drugs can damage a soul. Straight up exorcism is needed. Megan, truth bombs. I'm full of them. I'm full of them. And I just need an audience of people that need them like you guys. Oh, this is what I mean, real and honest, but very, very helpful. It burns, but it burns so well. There's a reason why alcohol is called spirits. Yes, exactly, spirits. It breaks a person's energy field. It makes you susceptible to a lot of things. You say yes to other things that are not good for you. Over time, just acid inside. Yeah, I'll be talking to my dad, and then suddenly his whole character changes and he starts making fun of things that I enjoy. And then I just gotta leave the room. That's why I can't live with my parents anymore for the longest time. It's just that I love them and they are amazing, but I don't feel safe because it's just so unpredictable. You never know when the flip is gonna happen. Truth bombs put the mirror front and center to self. Guys, I hope each and every one of you drops a follow and comes on every single live. I really enjoy your energy and the way that you take in my information. Send me a message after this live, guys. Donations greatly appreciated. Dive deep into my human design courses. I feel like all of you will be blown away by what human design is. If you never knew up until now, Human Design Basics on my profile is the first one, and there's 5 courses. If you start today, you're gonna have so much revealing about your life and life in general through my courses for the next year maybe. And yes, I'm a projector. Exactly, Megan. I did meet my hubby 30 years ago in a club, but we don't drink now. We were young. That's one of the rare cases where I also met my former girlfriend in a bar. However, the bar was about a concert about Pendulum and Prodigy, and we were both there to dance. We did both drink, but we were mainly there to dance to the music we both enjoyed. That was good enough to adjust, to be able to. And like you say, we don't drink now. We were young. That's one of the rare cases where if you meet somebody in a bar and 30 years later you're still together, that means that you both quit drinking, which is rare, I commend you for it. We were there for music and dance. Yeah, beautiful, guys. I can also see now that a lot of people resonate and come to the live when it's a topic like this. So this is going to be a practice where I'm going to do a few topics in a week, discussion topics. I really enjoyed this, and I see people. Yesterday we had conscious parenting, tutoring, and family, which is one of the things that I do, is tutoring individual children, family, counseling, guidance, relationship. We did that yesterday. We talked about tutoring and the future of education. It was a glorious live. We went for an hour and a half. A lot of donations, a lot of people followed. Really had a lot of purpose. I really, as a projector in human design, I really resonate with answering questions. Not really that good at lecture. I am amazing at people coming to me with their specific things and their life and me looking at it and helping them.